approvals from the State Executive Council, Delta States that is, and it led to a series of conversations. As a people, we thought it was necessary to gather and to interrogate some of these issues that have been raised as they concern the federal government, the state governments, the electricity shortage in Isoko, as well as the Petroleum Industry Act, how it impacts directly on our well-being as a people, how it affects our prosperity, how it affects our economic life. Today, we stand on the foundation, on the paths that have been laid by our forebears, our fathers of strength, the likes of late Ekba Otobo, the likes of late Chief Opozo, who at every point in time stood tall when matters that border on Isoko developments came to the fore. Just for the sake of those who may not be aware, there was a time in history when Isoko as a nation dictated the pace of politics in these states and even at the regional level, including when we were Bender states. Our leaders always fought and stood tall to comment on issues. Never a time did they cower. This is because of the immense potential we have as a people. This is because of our contribution that cannot be discarded at any point in time to both the national purse and the state coffers. And on the mandate in which I stand as the president of Isoko Youths, we also have a rich history of always taking the front seats when issues of development, when issues that border on our welfare came on the front burner. And we have a good reference for it. Our grand patron, our father, Chief Fred Obe, who this secretariat is incidentally is named after. Today, as youths of Isoko, we are standing on the foundation that has been laid to build on this, to deliberate on our welfare. And back to the issues, when they came up, we had expected some of our leaders to organize a forum where we can all verify and have a healthy conversation as to what really befits us as a people, in view of not just our contribution economically to the developments of the state and of the nation, but also politically. The last election brought into limelight that Isoko holds a very pivotal position in the political landscape by our voting population. It ranks among the highest ever seen in the state. And therefore, when these issues of exclusion came to bear, it got the government's attention, and they responded on 2 occasions. In their first response, by the Commissioner of Works, Rural Roads and Public Enlightenment, Mr. Charles Anyagbi, they said about 53 projects, both that borders on infrastructure, healthcare, academics, have been cited in Isoko. And afterwards, just yesterday, they also came out with fresh publication listing projects that have been cited by the Sheriff Oborowori's led administration in Isoko. While many have questioned the authenticity of that report, some others have also validated such. And so, rather than joining issues or taking any other form of protest, we decided as a youth organization responsible to ourselves and to our communities, we decided to open up an interactive session to interrogate these data that have been published, to find out the feedback reports from our various communities, to see whether those things are true. Apart from that, let me state categorically that we are not here to stand as opposition to governments. But I want to believe that any government will be happy to hear directly from the people by way of feedback, such as town hall meetings and other interactive sessions. And so our responsibility as a concerned state here is to find out from the various delegates. Now, this meeting is purely on a delegate basis. We just wanted a few numbers from the communities to find out, based on the published data of the governor, to find out if these things are real and where they have been found to be true. It is important to give kudos to the Sheriff Oborowori's administration. But when we find culpability, we will place culpability where it should be placed. And therefore, I would encourage everyone, if you have seen this project that have been listed, you would have the floor. This meeting is an interactive session. It is not meant, if I wanted to just reel and talk about your head, I would do a press briefing. But I want the government and all stakeholders to hear directly from people who reside there. Let me also state that deliberately we have avoided the involvement of the political class in this meeting. This is because you can predict where their loyalty will be, as they have shown in the past. This is because we are not entirely sure if their loyalty is to the community or to the people. And that is why some of them, at the heat of the conversation, have either blown on the good trumpets or have decided, without hearing from the people, to take a stance which primarily is against the craft, the use of the various communities. This is what has better this. Beyond this, we also remember that quite recently, when the South-South Development Commission was established, there was a clamor for an Isoko representation. Because at the federal level, there seems to be a willful exclusion of the Isoko community, of the Isoko Nation. Let me make it clearly for those of you who may not be aware that as it is today, Isoko is one of the largest onshore producer of both crude oil and natural gas, supplying, contributing majorly to the cost, to the revenue of the nation. Today, the federal government is anticipating over 2 million barrel production of crude per day. It is partly because of Isoko contribution. And let us also state clearly that Isoko Uzere precisely is the second place where crude oil was discovered after Oloibiri. And today, while Oloibiri has since run dry, the oil keeps flowing from Uzere. And from Uzere to Igbe to Emevo, and nearly all the communities of Isoko are producing in good measure crude oil and gas. And therefore, it is also our responsibility to find out if we have really been treated fairly from the federal government. Isoko again was excluded. Isoko again did not get any of the position in the South Development Commission that has been recently established. Let's not talk about the Niger Delta Development Commission that are seeing projects abandoned, projects initiated by the commission, literally as soil. Again, some of these projects have been there for decades and nothing has happened. So we felt it is important that we open a forum and to let the world know if Isoko has really gotten its fair share of what we contribute in commensuration of our contribution. Like we have consistently warned when we had the opportunity, that we must be careful both as a state and as a nation not to make citizens believe that only the violent are rewarded. Isoko, we have always had our heads high to be peace-loving. The question that will be before all of us today would be if, as a peace-loving ethnic group, we have really gotten fair deal from both the federal and the state governments. Like I mentioned, if it were up to me to come and do a press briefing, I will come and talk over your head. But like you can see at the backdrop, it is meant to be interactive. It is meant to be engaging. Another area we have considered that it is important that we should look at is the federal government's project, the gas to power project that was launched at the onset of this administration, when it was expected that gas that has been fled, that is being fled across all producing community can be converted to power that economy, to power, to give our people life. Today, from our interaction, we will find out if Isoko is really among those fortunate to be enjoying electricity. The Petroleum Industry Act is also another issue. Part of the spirit behind this act is that each of these oil multinationals are expected to establish a host community development trust, wherein 3% of their previous expenditure, 3% of their previous earning will be deposited to the host community. This is to see how the community can be progressed, how prosperity can come directly to people. So we're going to look this again, how far this has happened in our various communities. As we open up this conversation as we open up this meeting for discussion and for conversation, I will urge you to speak on behalf of the community. This might just be that one time when your voice is heard. This might just be that one time when His Excellency, the Governor of Delta State, may be able to get first-hand feedback from the communities. Make no mistake about it, and let me be unequivocal. Nobody will represent your interests more than yourself. Not even the politicians. They will not. Now, this is not an incitement against the political class. They are wonderful people. They are good people who, on many occasions, have sacrificed their time and their resources to ensure that we have fair representation. But then again, having been mandated to mandate on our mandate at various levels, it behoves on us to find out how far and how well they've done with our mandates. It behoves on us to question their representation. And perhaps we can excuse them, we can create this silent excuse that they may not have that first-hand information to work with. And so this is an opportunity. As much as time will permit, if you deem fit to speak on behalf of the community, at the state level, based on the projects that the government has listed, that have been established across Isoko land. And mind you, let me reiterate, where the projects are true, we will give kudos to the government. And where he may have been wrongly informed, we will also state to say, Your Excellency, this is not true. And so we converse boldly, and at the end of the day, whatever it is we conclude on today, we'll form a position paper, which we will make public and send to relevant parties. So I urge you to speak boldly, to speak factually and decently. This is not the forum to insult our dear governor, who, by the way, we cannot take the fact that on certain fronts he is doing well. But then we must also let him know where he's not doing well. So this is why we are gathered here today. This is why we have called for this meeting. If we wanted a crowd, we would call for a crowd. But we wanted few representatives from each of the communities across the world, and yet today we have such representation. And so we will proceed as I declare this session open. Thank you.